guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Reeves Volkswagen in Tampa, Florida, and guess what? We have a 2020 Volkswagen Tiguan, and this one I chose specifically because I really feel like this is the best bang for your buck. Not only for a Tiguan, but it may be your best bang for a buck when it comes to this smaller size compact SUV. But let's talk a little bit about Volkswagen. Volkswagen, that German word, means the people's car. All started back in 1937. Fast forward to the 21st century, and the thing that's taken over is not the people's car, it's the people's SUV. SUVs everywhere. With this Tiguan, came out in 2007, was redesigned to what you see now in 2018. But what Volkswagen is trying to accomplish with the Tiguan is to give you a lot of value, a lot of room inside, and also some of that great Volkswagen magic to brighten your SUV, not only driving experience, but also ownership experience. So let's go ahead, dive into this 2020 Tiguan SE trim and really see the value that it brings to the table. Right off the bat, I like what they did in 2018. Moving to the MQB chassis, it wound up making the Tiguan a little bit different in proportions in a good way. Large headlight housing design. This is one thing that does show the age, but the good news is that you have some nice bright silver, kind of brightens up the front of the Tiguan. As we drop down, we're gonna have not only one, but two zonks. Fake vent, fake vent. If they would have just left this smooth, that would have been half the battle. I probably wouldn't even pay attention to that, but because they did this one, we're zonking both of those. But you do have your daytime running lamps tucked in there. And overall, the way that it integrates with the rest of the front end, you'll see it. It makes sense. As we come across, you see the silver inside the housing blends into the grille. You got your three horizontal slots. It's got a little bit of that SUV cutout design, the iconic Volkswagen logo. We drop down. This is functional. It's flat black, which is nice. I also like the way it's kind of raised in the center. That's obviously going to help with ground clearance, and you don't have to worry about a massive air dam that sometimes can get caught on a parking block, and then you wind up ripping off the whole front end of the car. So very, very strong and prominent from the front. You get up onto the hood, you can see the definitive line across the front of the hood, and then you have two areas where it's peaked up. Gives it some nice personality to the Tiguan, because this class of SUV competition is just insane with the CR-V, the RAV4, the CX-5. We come around the bend, but you can see the way that they blended, get where I'm going with that? Blended in the fender treatment around the opening of the fender. You can see what we're working with on the SE trim. It's a 17-inch wheel, machined aluminum, little bit of gunmetal gray. It's working. I think it works really well with the flat black and the white of this particular Tiguan. Obviously, you go up the trim level, you could get larger wheel, but I think 17 inch is going to give you a good ride, and also gives you enough meat that if you get close to a curb and you bump it, hopefully you won't be scuffing the wheel. You just kind of bump the tire. Now, as we go down the side, some very nice body lines. You got the top one here, starts at the headlight housing and then follows its way down the belt line. Then you have another one that gets picked up, and the two of them parallel to one another. Nice touch. You have color matched mirror caps with very, very slim LED turn signals built in, flat black, chrome trim around the bottom and the top, which I really feel gives it a nice touch. You got your roof rails, which you can get your crossbars. You can put your kayak up there, mountain bike, whatever you have, outdoorsy stuff. Down below, I like the flat black. That's going to take a nice beating, and I'm glad that they put a little chrome down there. The chrome finish kind of blends in with the grille area and also the trim around the windows. Now, as we keep working our way back, you can see that those two lines become one. So this one fades away, and now you have that one that finishes off out at the back. Nice size rear quarter window, going to bring in some daytime light. And then when we get to the tail end of the business, you can see that we have the LED taillights, very, very low and stubby roof spoiler. And then as we drop our way down, there's that Volkswagen logo once again, this Tiguan SE trim, very clean, in a very German way in the back. You have some chrome trim, and then here's where the second zonk is. Why even put these here? I almost didn't even notice them. Fake exhaust. That's a big no-no. Just leave it off. It probably takes some of the cost off the price of the vehicle if they do that per 100,000 vehicles. But why don't we go ahead, pop the hood of this Tiguan SE and see what's powering it. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a hood strut, which is nice. Underneath that hood, the great news is no matter what trim level you go with, you get the same exact setup. So what you're looking at is a 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine putting out 184 horsepower, 221 pound-feet of torque. It's all mated through an 8-speed automatic transmission. 0 to 60 is very class competitive, around 8 seconds, 0 to 60. This particular Tiguan weighs in around 3,900 pounds. With it being front-wheel drive, you can get your Tiguan option with all-wheel drive. MPGs, you're looking at around 21 in the city, 27 on the highway. The good news is, like I said, no CVT, and that is something that's going to allow it to stand out. And then also, if you're not into really having to figure out what type of engine you should get for your particular vehicle, it's the same setup no matter what trim level it is. But why don't we go ahead, let's check out the interior and see if the Tiguan is a home run. All right, guys, we're inside the 2020 Tiguan. Like I was pointing out at the beginning of this video, if you're looking for value, that's what Volkswagen wants you to find with this particular trim, the SE trim. Now, if you're wondering, well, Joe, you keep talking about value, how much is this one? You're looking at MSRP around $29,000. Let's see what you get for the money. Now, to the door panels, just like a lot of other German vehicles, it has that particular look where there's a lot of dark material, but the good news is soft material across the top of the door panel. The armrest is on the softer side, and then you're gonna get a nice felt lined pocket in the bottom for all your German Twinkies and snacks and whatnot, but it looks tasteful and clean. Would I like a little bit extra color? Yeah, but I think for this price point and everything, I think it looks just fine. Now, soft material on the dash. I like this finish that we have right here on the front area of the dash. When we get to the infotainment side of things, you have this nice smoke gray finish, 2 AC vents, a pocket up here where if you want to have like a melted Snickers, put it up there and it'll get melted right to milk chocolate really quick. SE, this is one of the reasons why I chose it. You get the 8-inch infotainment system. It's got that nice swipe feature to it. You could get into your climate controls, nice graphics, really, really clean and clear. Watch this. We could go into car settings, get into vehicle status, your tire pressure monitoring system, all that good stuff. Very, very easy to function. You know, you could go back to media. We could go through our different hookups there and whatnot. So that's really the nice thing, is that it is easy to work through. Now, as we come down, soft material, you have your dual climate controls, easy to see, easy to get to. The knobs, it feels a little wobbly, and that kind of takes away the overall fit and finish for me. So I am gonna zonk. You see how it's almost moving this whole system there? That kind of bothers me a little bit. You do have heated seats, which is great. No ventilated seats. You drop down, you have a cubby for some Reese's peanut butter cups, 2 USBs, an aux jack, and a 12 volt. So connectivity wise, you're covered. Here's your start stop button. This is gonna be controlling that 8-speed automatic transmission. Let's see what the backup camera looks like. Actually, pretty clear. It's a little grainy, but we've definitely seen worse on Rady's rides. You can see the trajectory. It shows you very nicely. I'll put it back in the park to shut the car up so it's not beeping at me all day. Little bit of flat black is fine. This gray is good too, because it's not really showing the fingerprints as bad as gloss black. You have your 2 cup holders. Here is your Volkswagen key fob. Very, very simple. Your buttons on the back. This is push button start, but in case something goes wrong, it's not a switchblade, that's your key. So just to give you an idea of what that's all about. 2 cup holders, a Slim Jim holder, and then armrest is actually pretty soft. It's a little on the low side, but nothing too bad. I'm gonna go ahead, you just lift it up, bag of Lay's chips right in there. Everything in a bag of Lay's. Boom, right there. Seats. Simple, but supportive and comfortable. So you got the perforated center, nice, large lower section, very, very wide. It is manual control for the passenger, but on the driver's side, you're gonna get full electric assist, which is wonderful. Up top, look at this, SE trim. This one has the panoramic sunroof, which is a super nice touch. I got plenty of room in here. What I do like is I like the way the center console area is low. Doesn't need to be up high like I'm in a Porsche or something like that. Very, very clean. Coming over the business end, I want to show you behind the wheel of this Volkswagen Tiguan. All right, guys, business time. There's no memory settings for the seats or anything, but like I said, driver's side, you do have some very simple controls with the lower lumbar, which is nice. Steering wheel, I actually like it. It's a little on the thin side, but still the way it looks, the size of it, very nice. Flat bottom, just a tad gloss black. You got that iconic Volkswagen logo, and then you have nice flat black buttons to toggle through the information. Speaking of information, it's easy, it makes sense. You have a tach, analog, speedometer analog, coolant and fuel, and then in the center there, you could toggle through all sorts of information, a cornucopia of information, very nicely set up, easy to work. That's the great thing about this car, is that when it comes from an operation standpoint, very, very easy to figure out. Plus the amount of connectivity is more connectivity than a Verizon store. So let's go to the back seat and see how your passengers are gonna like this Tiguan. All right, guys, back seat time. Actually, the wonderful thing about the Tiguan, this is actually mid-row time because this is 3-row capable, if you could believe that. Sitting in the mid-row, I have a lot of room, leg room, 6 feet tall with the panoramic sunroof, plenty of headroom. You got your reading light. If people still do that type of thing, if you are going against what everybody else is and actually still reading, you have your own nice reading light there. Let's talk about command center. First of all, you have 2 pockets. So they didn't, even though this isn't top level trim, they give you 2 pockets for your Twizzlers, for a German Danish. You got your 2 AC vents, a little tiny cubby right here for about 3 atomic fireballs, maybe 4, USB, and a 12 volt. So connectivity, like I said, on point. Seats are great, and you know what? Seats can slide. That's a very nice feature to have. And then my favorite feature, when you want to chill like a Ville, you just go like this. Very nice. They have nice little lean feature adjustment. Armrests, it's a little on the hard side, and the reason why I grimaced was these cup holders should be horizontal. I'm gonna zonk that. Unless you take your elbow and put it all the way back here, you'll be fine. But if you want to put your elbow here, it's going in a hole. Put it back. Seats though are very, very supportive. Let's go ahead, let's check out the 3rd row in this Tiguan. All right, guys, time to check out this 3rd row. Now, it even surprises me that they have 3rd row capability. This 3rd row, let me just tell you right now though, it's not meant to be that all the time user. It's one of those things like, hey, if you find a couple extra kids that need to go somewhere and they want you to take them, you got the rear seat for them. So to do this, you have to slide the seat all the way forward, the mid-row seat, and then kind of tilt it. It's very tight, but we're gonna give it a whirl because I know if I didn't do it, everybody would be upset. But getting into the 3rd row, extremely tight. I mean, this is not meant for somebody that's a grown man. This is really for, like I said, to get that last kid that needs to get to the soccer game and you're the only one on the block that's going, you could get them back here. I'm gonna move the seat to see what kind of leg room we have. If you don't slide the seat back, plenty of leg room. It's just my knees are a little high. What's funny is I've been in bigger SUVs where my knees have been more in my mouth. Headroom though, they do give you a nice little notch out, but you kind of have to tuck down a little bit, or at least with my head, I'll be making contact with the headliner. But it is here. The biggest piece of advice I could probably give you is you're probably gonna wanna just leave it down in case of emergencies. But let's go ahead. I'm gonna fold this thing back together and we're gonna check out the cargo area. All right, guys, time to check out the cargo area. Now on the SE trim, you're gonna have to lift it the old fashioned way where you use a little bit of muscle, but it's not very heavy. I wanted to leave the 3rd row up to show you what kind of space we're working with. It actually isn't too bad, to be honest with you. You got cubbies on the sides where you could put those boxes of Twinkies, but we're gonna go ahead. It's real easy to fold these down. 1, 2, look at that. Folds nice and flat. Now, if you're the type of person that you want some hard numbers, you're looking at, with everything folded down, 38 cubic feet of space. With that row up, you're looking at 12 cubic feet of space. But the great news is the versatility with this Tiguan. You definitely are gonna get it, and that's what makes it so usable and wonderful. But why don't we go ahead? If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this Tiguan for a spin. All right, guys, we're leaving Reeves Volkswagen. We're in the 2020 Tiguan. like I said, this really is that value priced sweet spot of a vehicle. Right away, I love the seating position. I really like how far the A-pillars are pulled apart. One of my favorite Ferraris over there, a Ferrari 355. I would take it in a coupe. That one's a convertible, but that's okay. But I want to get this on the highway, see how the wind noise is. Let's see how she accelerates on throttle. That 8-speed doing the business. Like I said, right where the competitors are going to be with their 0 to 60. So I can understand Volkswagen not giving this car a lot more horsepower and really being concerned with that 0 to 60 time speed. But overall, seating position's great. Seats, I'm telling you, it's very interesting how they have a firmness to it, but yet it's comfortable. I think Volkswagen does that really, really well. Would I like to see a little bit different finish with the trim? Sure, but this metallic gray kind of blends in nicely with everything else. This seems a little bit out of place. So I didn't zonk it earlier, but I'm zonking this part of the trim on the passenger side. It's just, that's the only piece in this whole front end of the vehicle that looks like this. So kind of crazy. I do like the way it has wireless charging. And like I said, connectivity. A lot of you that are going to get these or have kids, it's great to have the connectivity for them so that their devices don't die and then make your life a misery. But steering wheel is great. Looking out the back is really, really nice. Side mirrors are a little tight, but the good news is they take the blind spot monitoring, they put it on the inside of the mirror cap. So it's real easy to see that blind spot monitoring detection. The digital display in between the instrumentation gauges is easy to read and toggle through. So that's a very, very nice touch. And everything else just nice and clean in here. I like the clean styling, not a bunch of funky angles and weird things going on. All right, guys, we're gonna get on the highway, check out the wind noise, the road noise, but we're also gonna do a little acceleration. So on throttle, that 8-speed drops down, not waiting for any kind of boost or anything. Super, super smooth. It is a little noisy, but it is a inline-4 engine, so you are gonna get a little bit more noise out of that, but definitely getting up to highway speed is nothing too shabby. There is quite a bit of wind noise, but I really think compared to the RAV4 and the CX-5 and the CR-V, it's nothing more extreme than those models, that's for sure. I think the greatest asset of this vehicle is having that third row when you're in a pinch. Plus, you're getting a lot of nice features at a great price with the SE trim. 8-inch infotainment system screen is easy to understand and see. You could hit your vehicle status, just like I showed you earlier, and get into all those different settings very, very easily. You get back to your media, you could go into your menu. So it really does make sense the way everything's laid out. I kind of like the angle of it. There's not a lot of glare on it, and we have the panoramic sunroof all the way open. Other than that, the armrest could be a little bit softer, but I think I'm just being nitpicky right now. Steering wheel's nice. It's definitely worth a look at if you are in the compact. This is considered a compact crossover SUV vehicle. Definitely worth checking one of these out. All right, guys, driving around, like I said, I think I've really, the more I drive it, the more I'm enjoying this Tiguan. Hopefully this gives you a good overview where everything's located, how it drives. Super smooth, especially driving around town like this. And on the highway, it wasn't too bad wind noise, to be honest with you. But we're gonna go ahead, wrap this one up. I will see you back at Reeves Volkswagen in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another wonderful day here at Reeves Volkswagen. Definitely gotta thank Zadie, Steven, and the rest of the crew here. This Tiguan, definitely at the SE trim, brings a lot of value, a lot of versatility. Is it enough to persuade you to come to Volkswagen than some of the other competitors? Only you can know that, but definitely with the third row capability, really sets this one apart from the rest. But if it's SUVs that you want to see like this on the channel, leave a comment in that comment section. If you're new and you're on the way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Radies Rise merch. Got to give it up to Big Guns McGee. He's out here in the sun making it happen, making dreams happen. Thank you, Tom, for your hard work. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.